What is up, everybody? How are we doing? I got a terrible glare off my glasses. John Burrows. What's up, Jig and Rat? Whoa. Look at everybody. Hey, Wiz, what's going on, buddy? It's like a reunion, everybody. Like a reunion. Keith, what's up, brother? You guys make me smile. I got to do something about this glare. I look like Brian Stone's watching Daytona and me. I didn't even realize I'm not really a race guy. I knew Daytona was over the weekend only because I saw people's posts saying that it was rained out. Um, I didn't even think about it tonight. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to try to compete with the race. I don't blame you if you're watching the race. Look at everybody piling in here. I love it. All right, let's go. Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. How you doing? If you're new here, my name's Matt. I'm the Awakening Angler, and I am live. All right. So I said we had 3 topics tonight to talk about, and those 3 topics are Walleye Fest, the CNY Boat Show that just got done, Team Starcraft, baby, and spring fishing destinations. So also, too, I'm going to tell you that this is the first time, because we haven't went live in a little while, this is the first time that I've been live since this new thing that's happened with my account. And I say that because at some point, I think the live is going to suspend for 30 seconds and they're going to put ads in there. I don't know how this is going to work yet, so I'm telling everybody up front, because when I just signed in to do the live on my end of it, it's completely different. So we're going to live and learn together. Right on. Fishing's fishing and talking's talking. So we got there's no shortage of that. But I'm going to get pen and paper because I want to talk about spring fishing destinations. What do you think? It's like I'm going to class. I'm the one talking, but I'm the one taking notes. Go figure. Because there is some things that I want to do this spring before Walleye Fest, as far as rods and sorry. I want to make a list of a few trips I want to do and film before Walleye Fest. And that opens up a lot. And this has been such a wide open winter that, I had the boat in the water a week ago today. Paul Messina and I fished, and it was the 12th straight month I had the boat in and I like open water. So now by the time we get to next winter, depending on what it looks like, because obviously I'll definitely have it in March, and depending on what it looks like, I mean, I'll be in the, almost 22, over 20 months straight to be able to do that and fish open water. And I know I'm not the only one. There was people out there, and boy, it's amazing. And everybody that I talked to at the boat show over the weekend, I said, times are changing, and it's a whole lot easier for me to make my boat payment every month typically when it would be throughout throughout the winter months that you can still use it. You know, the Lake Ontario has been wide open. I'm sure there was some shore ice you might have struggled with for that couple 3-week period, but Lake Ontario's been wide open. The salmon, the Oswego, all the tributaries all the way around the lake have been open. It's been nice, but I mean, as far as getting out in the boat, the Finger Lakes are wide open. The perch bite's insane. The lake trout bite is so good down there in the Finger Lakes. We have a video coming out as soon. The new video from last weekend from that lake trout jigging trip, the full length video showing all the catches and all the action will be up as soon as we're done here tonight. So let's go. Let's talk for a half an hour to an hour and see. I miss you guys. It's so great. I'm going to do a little roll call. We got almost 30 people. Hey, and while you guys are over there, you can share this link. I can't do it while I'm on, but if you guys want to share the link, and let's see how many people we can get in here and talk and say hello and catch up. So let's do a little roll call. See who we're talking to. John Burrows, first one in. My buddy John's down in Florida. Eric Wisniewski, what's up, Wiz? Keith Horns, my brother. David Gould, Thad Lance. DeGoose, I love that. Brian Stone, Bob Ward, Mike Hoover, Scott Lees, Tammy Hoover. I love it because Mike and Tammy are sitting on the couch right now next to each other, and they're both watching their own phone, watching me at the same time. Larry Kelly, what's up, buddy? Bob Ward, spring fishing, Gunnasow Lake, Manitoba, walleye heaven. Wow. Are you going? That might be a little out of my day or two drive zone that I'm working in this spring. Striper fishing is a definite, Keith. That's a definite for spring. I'm looking forward to it. Aaron Lusker, what's up? Kevin Stone, what's going on? Pickleball King, no, he's jigging rap. He's on the men though. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about Walleye Fest. We are going to do we're going to do it similar to last year and different in some ways. So far, the exciting stuff that I can tell you is last year we had just the main division, the main board, and then we also had a kids division. This year, we're definitely, and I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. We are definitely having a ladies division, a women's division this year. That is a definite. And the way we set it up is going to be a little bit different because there's going to be a couple different ways that you can be involved. And we're going to have it. There'll be more to come on that, but I have some really, really, really fun, interesting things to do. But we're going to have a couple different subdivisions of the main Walleye Fest. Walleye Fest has always been one big walleye. Okay, you gotta enter one walleye, and then it's just a race to see who's the biggest. We did a kids division last year, which was great. We had 130 kids. I really want to see that number go higher, much, much higher. I loved seeing all those kids last year involved. We hooked them up with so much cool gear. I look forward to seeing all those kids from last year and so many more. This is already last year. We were the largest kids fishing contest derby of any sort in the area last year. And that was our first year. So, and again, a ladies division as well. We have some excellent female anglers that were in the derby last year. And a lot of ladies were in the derby last year. So, we have some exciting things. I'm working on a way right now to have a shore division. We will definitely also have a kayak division. That is a for sure. We will have a kayak division this coming year. That'll be for kayak fishermen only. And again, I'm trying to figure out a way to do, and I'm working on some things to do a shore division as well. So shore anglers, because our lake is blessed. Oneida Lake is blessed with a lot of public shore access, and quite a few, if not every one of those locations, will produce walleyes from shore during that derby time. I can assure you. And some of the biggest fish every year in the derby are caught in the river or the canal, depending, or whichever you want to call it, on both ends of the lake. So stay tuned for that one. I don't have that is set in stone yet, but the main board, the main leaderboard for our biggest walleye, kids division, ladies division, kayak division. Those are a few teasers I'm going to put out. We have some very exciting things planned this year. And like always now, like last year we talked about it, and we gave away more money last year than it had ever been given away in prize money. And a lot of the Lions clubs put together derbies, let alone so this year, and the reason we did that was because it keeps increasing. Like I talked about, every 1,000 people that are in the derby, the prize structure doubles. You add another 10,000, and this year we know that number is going to go up. We know we had 1,400 last year, and we know that's going to go. That's going to go up. So the more people that get in it, the more money we give out, the more prize money, and I'm sure we're going to have. I haven't finalized it yet, but there'll be a tagged fish. So we have a lot of really exciting stuff. Stay tuned. We're updating behind the scenes the WalleyeFest.com website. That'll be up. You can still go there now and look around, but it's going to show you last year's stuff. Last year's leaderboard is still posted, so please go and look around there as well. Stay tuned. We have a long way to go. What we are going to do though is this Monday night, from now until Walleye Fest, I think we'll definitely do a live every Monday night and talk. We'll do Monday night fishing, and we'll talk just about what's coming up and all that. But this will be the vehicle for getting everything out and all the updates, because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening between now and Walleye Fest. It's going to be super exciting. As always, it is opening. It's the first full weekend in May. This year is the 4th and 5th. So super, super excited about that. Getting ready to welcome back all of our great sponsors from last year and increase that. If you or anyone you know is interested in becoming a Walleye Fest sponsor, you guys know where to get a hold of me. Let's go back here into the comments for a second. Thanks, Wiz. He just put it over on Oneida Lake Anglers. We got 26 people in. I thought that number was going to go up a little bit. My fishing skills are telling me I should work Walleye Fest instead of fishing it. So, Larry, I know you're being funny, and you are funny, and not just looking. I don't care what Michelle says, not just looking. But in a big fish derby, there is a lot of luck involved in it. People can tell you all they want. Oh, I'm targeting the bigger fish. Really? How? How exactly? So fishing skill aside, being out there, having the line wet, everybody's got an equal chance. To a certain extent, everybody's got an equal chance. Oh, here's the teaser. Here's the teaser for the night. There is going to be one thing, and this is going to get everybody. It's going to be the king of Walleye Fest. There will be an angler, and there will be a little competition within the competition that will earn someone the title of King of Walleye Fest, and that'll be a yearly title. So once you win it, just like Daytona, how NASCAR starts their season, Walleye Fest is going to start the walleye fishing season on Oneida Lake, and you when you win it, you're going to be the king of Walleye Fest for the whole year from the start of the season. So there are going to be way more details on who and how is going to become the king of Walleye Fest. And it's going to be based solely on your angling skills. So everyone at this moment, every single person out there has the same odds right now of winning King of Walleye Fest. So that's going to be pretty cool. Aaron said he's already got a couple cottages booked at Anglers Bay. Anglers Bay is already, I don't want to speak for them. Anglers Bay is already full. I don't know if their capacity of Walleye Fest anglers. We know 3, I think, don't we, babe? 3 different groups that are staying there. So Tammy Hoover, we have our place booked on Oneida as well. Eric Wisniewski, I'd rather be lucky than good. Wiz, listen, testify, my brother. You're on the back of the charter boat and you're fishing in a tournament and that rod fires and it's a normal fish or it's a giant fish. We didn't have anything to do with that. That is the luck of it. Big fish derbies are that, and there is a lot of luck in it. And the beauty of the luck is that it gives everybody a level playing field to a certain extent. So that I like. I mean, you could go up against the serious, hardcore, heavy duty angler and to some degree have the same amount of chance of success that big fish is going to come bite your line. So that's why I love this derby. I've loved it my whole life. A lot of it is luck, being in the right place at the right time. What about Queen of Walleye Fest? Wow, I'm giving the lady. My wife is saying, "What a great idea." Maybe hey, you know what? Why not?
Don't discriminate.
Yeah, right. Well, and maybe King of Walleye Fest wasn't the right word. Maybe something a little more heavy metal, like Master of Walleye Fest. Yeah, Walleye Fest. I don't know.
No, because that still implies man. Could be a woman.
Master. Sounds pretty Metallica to me. Let's see. Mark Webb, he's all set. Both boats are ready. Him and Nate are going to be trolling in unison down the lake. So, all right. So that's Walleye Fest. The Central New York Boat Show, Team Starcraft Marine. I want to thank everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that stopped and said hello to me and said, "Hey, I watch your videos. Thanks, man. I've learned so much from you." I don't ever want anybody to say that if it's not true, but I mean, certainly if that's the way you feel, I'm going to tell you right now, if I met Al Linder tomorrow, I would be, starstruck. I'm not comparing myself to Al Linder. I'm just saying I understand it, and the first thing I would say to Al if I met him was, "Thank you. I've learned a lot from you." And when people say that to me, it just makes my heart swell, and I'm so proud. And that's my calling in life. And I have figured it out in these last 4 years. Courtney and I are entering the 5th year of this incredible journey. We just hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that all led me to being somebody that a brand that everybody in the boating and fishing industry knows, Starcraft Marine. Starcraft has been around for 120 years. They are one of the original and longest lasting boat manufacturers in the United States. Still family owned and operated after all these years in a little town in Indiana. I'm from Central New York, just north of Syracuse. The plant is, oddly enough, just outside of Syracuse, Indiana, very near the shores of Lake Syracuse. When Courtney and I went out there a couple months ago, that was not lost on me. That symmetry, that feeling of I'm where I want to be and I'm supposed to be in what I'm doing here with you and teaching and sharing the things that I love, and how we fish. And then that's led me to being a part of this company. And so that got me, and with not just with Starcraft, but with Tim, especially the owner at Krenzer Marine, and Rick Hajecki, Captain Rick Hajecki. Without meeting Rick that day last year, these two ships might have passed in the night, and they were meant to not pass. And I've been very proud to represent this company and to represent their product in the over 700 people in that little town in Indiana that go to work every day. And from what I hear and from what all the people told us, it's an incredible place to work. It's the family and the extended family that owns and operates this company cares about its employees, and they know them, and that town's built around it. And so all of those things, if I don't meet Rick last year at the Sportsman Show when Courtney and I were on our way out, and the Starcraft STX 2050 caught my eye right next to the door as I left, and I said, "Hey, honey, can we go look at that boat? I just, She goes, "Sure." And I've told the story before, but I'm gonna tell it again. And then I saw the stairs at the back of the boat, which means that you can get up on there, but I always like to be courteous and check. And so I saw somebody sitting over there, and I said, "I don't mean to bother you." I said, "Is it okay if we get up in there and look?" And he goes, "Absolutely." And I don't even get in the boat yet, and as he's walking over, says, "As long as you do a video about it on your channel." And I stopped in my tracks because he knew who I was. And I was like, "Oh my God, you know who I am?" I was humbled, and I'm like, I'd be honored. And within a week, he had set up the meeting for me to go out there and meet with the owner, Tim, and the three of us matched up very quickly. And that's why I'm here now. And so this was my first boat show with them. And I've been running the boat since August. Everybody on the channel that watches anything I do sees me in the boat every day, and I love it. And it's everything I wanted. And it's proven to be more. And then when you bundle what it means to me to be able to stand, because I'm not in any of this just to promote myself or about money or any of those things. I'm in it because this is what I'm supposed to do. My grandmother told me when I was a kid that I should have been a teacher. Turns out I am. It's just my subject is fishing. And so that's what I do. And I've done it since I was young, since I was in my 20s when I started guiding after the Army. Some of those things just come about. But again, to get back to all this was my first boat show. And this is my first boat show. I mean, I've done the sports show circuit forever, going all the way back to my early 20s when I guided for myself and when I worked for other people and did sport shows. That was what you did in those days. And some guys would do, 8 or 10 a year. But this year at the boat show, it's a little different. I'm there in a different capacity, and I'm more in a sales capacity, which sales isn't necessarily my strong suit. And you're going to think, well, that's weird because this is what you do. But I'm a show and tell kind of salesman. I've shown people on here lures and lines and rods and reels and now boats. And it's just a matter of stepping up. And as we move along, we have opportunities, but this is an opportunity that fulfills me in a way that I can be proud of who I'm promoting. And I wouldn't promote somebody that I wasn't. And I've got a couple Starcraft snowmobiles. Sorry, that just caught my eye. How old are those? Wow. They used to make everything. Anyway, the boat show was incredible. And I got to talk to a lot of great people in a lot of different capacities, some of which were looking at buying a new boat, and they wanted my professional opinion on it. And after the training and the sales seminars and all that stuff, I learned more about the infrastructure and the building of boats than I ever thought I was going to know. I mean, it's one thing to run a boat. It's one thing to be in it all the time, but to really understand how they're built and how it comes together, from the one-piece hull design, which is the only one in the industry that uses a single piece sheet of aluminum. They're 0.125 hulls. They're the thickest in the industry. I don't go into it all, but it just, as I started learning about it, it made how it runs and when it runs well and how it handles. It's like if you've ever went to a wine tasting or a whiskey tasting or a beer tasting, and the person will tell you in advance of you taking the sip what you should be looking for with notes of flavor, whether it's oakiness or butteriness, or depending on what it is, whatever, spiciness, or a certain fruit that you'll get a hint of with notes of pear or whatever. The boat's the same way. Understanding and knowing and seeing the pictures and the diagrams of how that structurally is underneath. It's one thing to look in and look at the floor and you're like, oh, that's nice, that's cool. But it's another thing to know what's under the floor. And under the floor is where the ride, the handling, especially in aluminum, how dry it is a dry of a ride. You hear that a lot. Well, that's what makes it so, or wouldn't make it so. And so then all of a sudden, as I'm getting more hours in this boat and breaking it in more, and I understand what it does well, and I can see how it works, and why it works. I found that very satisfying and very interesting, because now you start to put the whys in, and why would I want that feature versus, do I need it or not need it? So the boat show, and I'll wrap up the boat show very quickly with, I talked to our Starcraft factory sales rep this morning, and they are still, we still have time. If anyone is still looking for a boat, or whether they talk to me or not, if someone is still looking for a new boat, a new ride before Walleye Fest, especially, you would still have time to get it ordered, even if you custom ordered it, or choose from one of the many great models we have in stock at Krenzer's in Sodas Point. Get a hold of me privately, and we can handle that, and see if we still have time and something in your range, because we have a lot of great models. And so put that out there. The boat show pricing is still good for the short term. It won't last forever, because some of those deals were pretty deep. But if you're still interested, if you didn't make it out to the boat show because the weather sucked this weekend, we've had the nicest weather in winter weather ever until the weekend of the boat show. It decides to be winter again. Go figure. So, all right. Bill Morey, I missed the part about Walleye Fest. Well, we can't go back and do it all again, Bill, but we will do it repeatedly in the future. And we're going to do every Monday then. Maybe we'll make it a little later, because I had to wolf down dinner before I jumped down here. Maybe we'll move it a little later to like 8 o'clock on Mondays, and we'll talk weekly. And now I want to talk about spring fishing destinations. Again, as soon as this live is over, I'll post the video that we just shot 2 Saturdays ago, sorry, down in the Finger Lakes, jigging for lake trout. And that's, for a lot of people, that's one of those real dream destination trips throughout New York and the East Coast. Fishing is great all through the Finger Lakes, and you can find lake trout throughout the Finger Lakes, to include Skinny Atlas, which I only say that because some people don't include it as part of the Finger Lakes, but Skinny Atlas also has a very healthy, thriving lake trout population. So, amongst other species. So that's one of those trips that I wanted to get on film this spring before Walleye Fest. Another is the Niagara Bar for me. I have been on the bar once. I didn't fish it for very long. I was with a guide. We stayed up in the river, drift fishing for steelhead, which I'll do that too, but I want to get out and jig the bar. That's something I've never done. I want to get out there in my boat, and I want to get that down on tape. Another trip is Lake Erie for the walleye run up into the bay, up into a couple of the bays or river mouths. And our I don't know what, I think Greg is the pro staff director at Smokercraft, Greg Yarborough. He's in Port Clinton, Ohio, and I'm going to get out with him and take a run out to Lake Erie this spring and show everybody that amazing fishery. I've never fished Lake Erie before. It's been on my list since I was forever and ever. And Greg has offered to get us out. I say us. I'm going to take you guys along with me with the camera and do that spawning migration with something we don't get here in New York, that walleye migration. It looks like sometime in March, if the weather cools off again in northern Minnesota, that we are going to go out. I'm going to go out with the guys from JT Rods and film something ice fishing on Rainy Lake. I talked to them today, and if that doesn't happen and things open up, then we are going to go film the spawning run in the Rainy River, the walleye spawning run, which is open, and that river is open. So something also there. So there's quite a few things that I would like to do. There is still time until March 15th. It's wide open up there. The whole Golden Crescent all the way up into the St. Lawrence River. The walleye fishing's been good. I've seen some pictures of some beast that they've been caught up there. So I want to get up there and do some trolling for those walleyes up there as well. So those are some things that I've figured on for spring trips, that we're really going to put a big full length video around and show everybody from start to finish, what we're doing and where we're going. This year, there's going to be way more travel. Monday through Friday, for the most part, will still be in Ida. That will probably be 75%, just because, working during the week, you can only have just so much time in the morning. So there'll be plenty of Ida content, believe me. Farmer Tim, what's up? I missed you at the boat show this year. Thanks for taking the time to go live. Thank you for taking the time to join us. And so those are my spring trips that I have planned. I hope that sounds interesting. If there's something locally within New York State, I don't know anything about Great Sacandaga, and I've always wanted to go there just because the name sounds cool, and I know it's filled with big pike. If anybody has any contacts or understanding of that lake, shoot me a line. I have thought about some smaller bodies of water down in the southeast part of the state, some of the reservoir systems, doing some of that on some smaller water too. So I'm definitely open. After Walleye Fest, there's going to be muskie. Yeah. There'll be more muskie content this year. That big tiger really got my juices flowing last year. That was a lot of fun. There will be more muskie content this year for sure. Definitely. So like I say, muskie in out in Great Sacandaga. I'd like to go down and fish stripers on the Hudson this year when they're up in the river spawning. And I'm open to suggestions. If you think, hey, I'd like to see him go do a video, here or have a context. Chautauqua Lake is another one that's on my list. Chautauqua's on my hit list for probably after Walleye Fest. And Courtney and I drove up by Kinzu Reservoir on the way home from Punxsutawney for Groundhog's Day. I'd like to go hit Kinzu too. I heard that's an extremely challenging. Buddy of mine used to fish tournaments. I don't know if he still does. Adam Henderson, who's an excellent walleye stick. I know he does a lot more trout and salmon now, but is an excellent walleye stick. In the old days, him and I used to go out trolling on an Ida. He fished, bless you. He fished a tournament, I remember years ago, him telling me on Kinzu, and he goes, there was only a few fish caught total, period. So that kind of a challenge sounds exciting. And we'll have some striper and some saltwater content this spring. I'm itching to get back down to the beach and in the ocean. That's a lot of fun. Bill Morey, yeah, straight bass in the Hudson. Black Lake. So what would we do on Black Lake? Crappie fish, which I would be good with. I do want to do some panfish stuff this year. I've got two of the so I was using last fall, my swim bait rod was the JT 7-foot ultralight panhandler. I sold two of them at the sports show to friends of mine who watched all fall and winter long. That ultralight rod just bow completely up with those big walleyes and smallmouth. And I have two of those left in 6.5 foot that I would like to go take and do some sort of a panfish video with, especially crappie and some fish and bluegills too. But I would like to do a couple crappie videos this year, especially a spring one. Maybe even pitching bobbers one day. So a lot of fun stuff that I want to bring in, not to mention the content that we do every day on a night of lake. Larry Kelly. So what happened with Grandpa's boat? It's so funny. I was in the garage today because the snowblower broke again, and I got it apart and I couldn't get it fixed. I think it's toast. Finally, it's an old Murray that my mom had at her old house. God, 25 years ago. I mean, anyway, I couldn't get it fixed. So I'm like, I'm out here in the garage anyway. It's still early. Not dinner time yet. So I started cleaning up my area, so to speak. I have a workbench in the corner of my garage, and it's a catch-all for my whole life. You never know what you'll find on that workbench, from fishing tackle to ammunition to tools and everything in between. And on the back of my workbench, I have a bookshelf that goes up 4 shelves, boop, boop, boop. And I've got all kinds of stuff in there. But there's 3 pictures right there that I have sitting there that I see. And the bottom picture is my grandparents together up at their camp in Cape Vincent. Hugging and smiling for the camera as a couple, and it was in 1991. And then there's a picture of Gramps' boat, Gramps at that time. And then in those days, the boat was all white. It had a big bow rail all the way around it, and it had a full blue canvas top that came up over. That was usually always up because Gramps sat up underneath it to get out of the sun. And I lost what I was saying.
You cleaned out the garage and you found the pictures.
And the third picture was a picture of Gramp and me when I came home from the Army. I think it was like Easter Sunday. And I always have those 3 pictures kind of together. And I looked up and saw them, and I told Courtney, I said I was out there cleaning, and those 3 pictures were whispering to me. And I finally looked up at them and kind of absorbed and went back in time a little bit to that day. I can remember that summer day when that picture was taken up there. So that was my Wayback Machine, and that brings me back to Gramps' boat because I sold the motor off it, and I still have the boat. It's parked right at the moment, and I still was going to take the C deck, the C drive off the back of it and sell that. And then I would probably get rid of the boat because I can't do anything with it. The whole inside that I redid would have to be redid again. And I may cut a part of it off and save the windshield or make something. I thought about a bar. Or so I don't know. I'm going to keep some portion of it because as I looked at those pictures, I thought to myself, that boat has been a part of me my whole life. And most all of my young life fishing memories were in that boat. And the blessing of getting it back in my life and bringing it back to life, and then it giving me the life to this channel and this new life and the new direction that I'm going. Like, I don't know how I could say anything else other than it must have all been meant to happen, because how could that many coincidences keep going in that such an order, you know? So Larry, the story of where Gramps' boat is tucked away for the winter and probably will receive a proper send off into the great beyond come summertime, after Walleye Fest and after everything calms down again. But hey, Don Terry just joined us. That's all right, Don. So that's where Gramps' boat is. So what else? What else, everybody? Anybody got a question? We're at 45 minutes. We can stop or we can go another 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, I did. My wife's trying to keep me on track. Lots of luck. No one keeps me on track. There you go, Wiz. It's got to go the other way. This is reversed. I just realized that. To her. No, not really. So yeah, if anybody's got anything that they want to talk about, ask. Wiz. Your beaker. I did that for you, just so you know that. How about some spring carp fishing? That would be cool. That would be very cool. Kevin Stone, Matt, following last year's derby, did anyone report catching any of the tagged walleye? Nope. I haven't heard of anything. I have not heard of anything. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, I think that's it then, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. All right. I'm going to hang up then, and I'm going to go put out the new video. It is a lot of fun. It is some fast-paced lake trout jigging action, and I hope you go check it out. We did things a little different. We're messing around with some new concepts on how we do our editing. So please tell us if you like it, that you enjoyed it. You know, share it with your friends. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. We just hit 4,000. So next is 5,000. You can't get to 100,000 or 1,000,000 until you get to 5,000 or 5. So we're on our way. Thanks, everybody. Keep your tip up.